Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez attended the Met Gala, or Gala, depending on how you pronounce it. I think Gala sounds weird, but nonetheless, she decided to wear a dress that had the words "tax the rich" on it. It was designed by Aurora James, and I thought it was cringe. I'm just keeping it real.
Okay, reality is broken out. We shall discuss. I have different thoughts. Go.
Okay, so all right. I don't like stuff. I don't like dresses, especially that have like political statements on it. Like, it reminded me of that one Trump supporter, Joy Vila, who, by the way, of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene took it upon herself to compare Vila to AOC, and she's like, oh, Vila's so much better. I love you. Your pro-Trump dresses were awesome, but they weren't. They were tacky and weird. Like, there was the Make America Great Again dress, and then the Build the Wall dress. I feel like AOC did this to essentially send a message at an event that's attended by all sorts of like insanely wealthy elite people, right? So it's like, I think that her intent was good. I'm just being real with the audience. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh yeah, I was so badass. No, I thought it was cringe. I just thought it was cringe. Just, you're a lawmaker. Yeah, tax the rich. Like, just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. I felt like it was too performative and weird. And for people who are getting on her for going to the gala in the first place, I actually don't really care that much about that. I don't know if that makes me a bad person, but for me, what speaks louder is the actual governing and legislating, right? So the stunts like this, I don't know. I don't really think are really effective and come across as a little cringy.
Okay, I largely disagree. So, but let me explain. So almost on every ground, actually. So first of all, go like the Met Gala. Would I go if I was invited?
You call it the gala?
I don't know what I call it. I've never been to a gala or a gala, so I don't really know. But I'll figure it out once I get invited. Okay, I'll settle on what pronunciation. So would I go? I guess, because they invite you, and it's and then your family pressures you. Oh, we're gonna dress up nice, and you should do it. You always look like a bomb. This will be a nice moment. My sister loves the Met. She's gonna tell me to go, and I'm gonna go. Right?
I would go out of pure curiosity. I'll give you a specific example. I got invited to go to one of the fundraisers that was being held for Joe Biden. Did I donate to his campaign? No. Right? This was during the primaries. Did I support him in the primaries? No. But did I go to that fundraiser? Yeah. You know why? Because I'm curious. Like, I want to see what happens. Like,
of course.
Right. So like,
that's not a question.
Right.
Look, don't get me wrong. I've eaten folks' hors d'oeuvres in those types of places. No question. You got hors d'oeuvres, I'm likely showing up. No one's confused about that. Okay. So now, secondly, on the other hand, do I like it? I don't even know what happened inside, but I'm sure I wouldn't like it. Because I'm an unsophisticated goon, right? So what are you gonna have in there? Opera, I hate it. Ballet, don't like it, unless my daughter's doing it. If it's like you were looking at art, I think there's some artists I like.
It's just a giant fundraiser for the Met. Like, I didn't know what it was until last night, and I was writing a text message to Nando and our producer for the Jacobin show that we do, and I was like, what even is the Met Gala? Like, what's the point? Like, who wants to see a bunch of rich people dressed in costumes? And then I found out it's literally about costumes.
Oh,
like that is.
See, apparently I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And I read the articles didn't even mention it.
Right.
And I think they assume the sophisticated people knows what happens inside the Met Gala. Okay, but I don't. But I assume there are hors d'oeuvres. If there are no hors d'oeuvres, I would be so pissed.
There are definitely hors d'oeuvres.
Okay. All right, now let's get to the serious stuff. Look, I get what you're saying, but
do you?
No, when she wears that dress, well, let's find out. When she wears that dress, you can't not talk about it. And here we are talking about it, and the rest of the press doesn't even have brakes in the car, right? If they think it'll get a click, they're gone, right? So they're all gonna talk about this. So what does that do? Yes, if you're looking at it only from like a selfish point of view, it gets AOC in the press, and if you're a politician, that is incredibly well played. Okay, let's keep it real. But it also gets the message out, and that's why I'm in favor of it. So
I think the message is out there though.
No, but is it out at the Met Gala? How many people in that crowd agree with her, right? And so,
you
look,
think this is persuading them?
I think every time there's a hit, look, Anna, think about it. Trump persuaded 40% of the country on total garbage. And that wasn't even remotely true just by repeating it. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Okay. And by the way, tax the rich is actually very popular. Polling indicates about 70% of the country wants us to tax the rich a lot more, right? And so now look at us in the middle of this video that we couldn't help but do because it was so interesting and out there and in our face. Now we're talking about the great majority of the country wants to tax the rich, which the media never ever talks about.
I know, but Cenk, her wearing this dress had no impact on the people who want to tax the rich, right? It's already an incredibly popular thing. My point is, enough with the stunts and do something substantive in actually making it happen.
But so
that's my point. Having a bunch of people, like us, for instance, debate whether we like the dress does not move the needle.
I totally disagree.
Okay.
So now let me explain why, guys. No, seriously, this is a really important issue, actually, because the media is part of action. So it's not so when AOC did the sit-in in Pelosi's office, did that automatically pass Green New Deal? No, but it got a ton of media attention, which created pressure, and it created a subcommittee. That's not important, but what was important is it got the ball rolling, and then some parts of the Green New Deal are in that $3.5 billion infrastructure bill. And the media makes a giant difference. Look, Cori Bush does the protests on the Capitol Hill. Now, of course, those we feel more viscerally connected to. Oh, yeah, that's a protest, that's civil disobedience.
Power, right? Those are the centers of power.
But the Met Gala is a giant center of power.
Well, to be fair, Kim Kardashian and Billie Eilish or Eilish, whatever her name is, that is the center of power in America, especially political power.
But
not really.
No, David Koch, I forget, I'm so unsophisticated. Sorry guys for all the art folks out there, but David Koch named one of either the Lincoln Center or the Met, right? And the Koch brothers didn't name it after themselves and didn't give it all that money just because they liked the opera. They did that because the most powerful people on earth go in that building. Okay, and those are the donors that control our politicians, etc. So this is her partly getting in their grill, partly getting media attention to an issue. I wish the rest of the press is doing what we did. First of all, even if you debated, it's interesting. But secondly, every article should have a sentence. By the way, an overwhelming majority of the American people agree with this message. Now, the press never says that. They don't even know it. Because their assumption is, oh, look at this radical, look at this. But she's like Lady Gaga, ooh, sending a message. And Anna, I get your reaction too, because I think-
You know what was effective? You know what was effective? When AOC specifically called out Senator Joe Manchin for his clear corruption with fossil fuel money pouring into his campaign coffers, right? That was powerful because then you have Joe Manchin playing defense on cable news. Listen, if you want to do something effective, and AOC is capable of it, and she's shown us that she's capable of it, you challenge your own Democratic colleagues as they pretend as though they're the kingmakers and they're the ones who get to decide whether or not the American people deserve incredibly important social safety net programs and protections like paid family leave. When she did that, I applauded her because that wasn't a stunt. That was her challenging power, right? And going after members of her own party as she should. But these stunts, it's a cute debate topic, but I don't think it moves the needle in any way. The corporate media is gonna corporate media. They're not gonna change their minds or cover the way the vast majority of Americans feel about taxing the rich. That's never gonna change because they're funded by the very elite, right? That we talk about all the time. So I thought the dress was tacky, I didn't like it. I'm just keeping it real, and it was cringy. So, and I know people aren't gonna like that commentary. It has nothing to do with how I feel about AOC as a person or a legislator, but yeah, if you want to go to the gala, just go to the gala. Don't do the stunt. I just don't like it.
I think that if you're going to go to the gala, definitely do a stunt because it's a rare opportunity where all the media are assembled. You're right when she calls out Manchin, that's way more important, but it's not either or.
More effective.
Okay, and but it's not either or. And when Cori Bush called out Joe Biden, guess what? He continued eviction moratorium for a little while longer, which he definitely would not have done if Corey hadn't done that. Now, this one is not as effective because there's no action that she's pushing for immediately, but at the same time, it got seen by a lot more people because it involved fashion and celebrities, etc. And one last thing, it's important for people to know that the Republicans are for the rich and Democrats want justice. So now the media will look at that and go, see that American people are gonna hate that. Let's publicize it. It's a win-win because the American people love the rich. You're wrong, they don't. And so that's actually a net positive for Democrats at large as well.
And then this is a side note, because I can't help myself. The entire event annoyed the crap out of me last night. Like all the outfits and what was Kim Kardashian doing?
I didn't even see it, but as you can see, it's the thing I could not care less about normally.
All of it was just completely unbearable. Like she started her career naked and then she, I guess, is now in the phase of I'm gonna be covered literally head to toe in all black. You couldn't see her face, her entire face was covered. I'm not kidding. I wish I should have grabbed a picture, I apologize, but I'm sure many of you saw it online. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is what the elite are up to, right? People are freaking starving and they're like, I don't know, what kind of ridiculous costume can I wear to this gala? I don't know, the whole thing was annoying.
Okay, I'll say one super last thing and agree with you on that. Because when I see stuff like that, for me, after Lady Gaga's meat dress, I was done with all of it. Like I'm not at all interested because every single thing there is about look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, right?
Yeah.
And it's not art, it's just who can be more shocking and stupid and ridiculous.
Totally.
And so, and it really feels like the Hunger Games. It feels like they're in the Capitol in the Hunger Games, and they have no idea what's happening here. I think that's what's creating your visceral reaction, and that I can relate to. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.